What's up all you Clashers, this is Kaz, and welcome to Kaz Gaming. I thought I'd start a vlog, a Castle Clash vlog, and this is going to be the first one. We're going to work on a account assessment. So let's check it out. Okay, so basically we're going to go and look over my account and see where we're at and where we want to be or what we want to work on, right? This would be the first entry of the vlogs, and this one will be on just assessing the account, seeing where it's at, like I just said. So I think everyone should do this every once in a while. Just sit back, you know, take a look at your account, what the heroes you got, where you're strong at, where you're weak at, and then think about where you want to go with your account, right? So we can start here. This is where I'm at, trying to work my way up to that Dominator. We'll go ahead and pick that, take that up. So this is an overall evaluation. We'll go hop into Lost Realms here. I am currently at level 20. To be honest, I've been kind of slacking in Lost Realms a bit. I don't do it as much as I should, and you definitely should do this. I really should be much higher, but I'm not. It's you know, it's one of those things you just got to keep up on. See, I'm at max 80 out of 80, and I just haven't done it. And I got like 100 and something of those stamina cards. So it just gets tedious, I know, and it's the one thing I gotta work on. So I do have 4,000, so I think I can upgrade one of these. I might as well do that. Okay, so that's gonna help out a little bit. That's one game mode. So here be monsters. We can do Wretched Gorge 3 at any time, pretty much. That's where we're at with that. That's not a problem. So we can do Lava 3 with the guild members when they're available. That's not a problem. That's where we're at with that. Here be monsters. I need to work on that a bit. I am currently on T, been sweeping T. If you watch any of my upgrading videos where I power level people, I'm sweeping T. So I'm working on AA, haven't got there yet, so I got some sweeps I can do right there. For dungeons, I am as far as Insane Dungeon 5, number 5 I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Insane Dungeon 5, so this is the one I'm stuck at. That's for that. That's pretty much all. Well, so we do, oh, we got Lost Battlefields, so we can check that out. I've been making the 1,000 every week. I can hit 1,000 every week, no problem. That's been my goal. 1,500 is too far up there. If you ask me, they really ought to put like a 1,200 in there somewhere, you know? Doesn't really show it, does it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so you see it goes from 3 to 6 to 1 to 1,500. So I think it would have been cool if they put like a 1,200 in there or something that would be a little bit more attainable, because I think a lot of people can hit 1,000, but it's pretty hard to hit that 1,500, I tell you. So the 1,000 has been my goal every week, and I've been able to get there, so that's looking pretty good. And that's where we're at so far. So 155 might. I still got like 2 million honor badges from the last time I sold some books. So of course you guys know if you take a hero to level 200 and you evolve them at that point, then you get like 263 books, and I just sell them all for honor badges. You know, you can always sweep for experience. So honor badges I think are a little more hard to come by. So every once in a while when I'm running low on honor badges, I just take a hero up to 200 and evolve that hero. And then, yeah, I get the honor badges from that. So let's take a look at my heroes, where they're at. I think I have every hero in the game at this point, except for the Demon Gorgon. None of my heroes are maxed out completely. Now I do have Skull Knight here. He's at 200, but he's at 9 of 10. I have Warlock, who's 10 of 10, but he's only at level 180. So somewhat maxed out heroes, somewhat not. You know, you kind of have to decide where you want to spend your resources, right? It takes a lot of resources to get a guy from you know, skill level 9 to skill level 10. So you really want to consider who you spend your resources on, right? So I think the first thing that someone should look at is I guess what game mode interests you the most, or what game mode do you want to work on the most? Oh, I forgot to add, you know what I forgot to add? I forgot to add Arena. I really don't do Arena that much. If you guys ever watch my gameplay videos, I really don't do Arena that much. And if I could ever, I'm clicking back and forth here. Okay, so I'm Arena, so that's where I'm at. You know, I win some and then I lose some. I can get it all the way up to 100 per hour. I can get to the top 1,000 usually, but I really don't fight in it that much. These are the heroes I'm using there for this game mode. And we do pretty well. You know, like I said, I can get into the top 1,000 where we're making 100 per hour. I run the same, well, almost the same guys for defense. I guess I didn't change that actually. I was going to change that, but it doesn't really matter too much. So those are the heroes I use for that. For Lost Realms, it's pretty much a Lost Battlefield setup. So pretty much the heroes I use for Lost Battle, I use for Lost Realms. Except I make like one completely strong team. So this is my team for Lost Realms here. This is the team I use to take on any team that's guarding an altar. And then this is the team I use to just try and destroy these guys as fast as I possibly can. Oh, I'm sorry. I was testing out something here. Let's see. So the guys that I use to take out things as fast as possible. It's anyone with a bunch of AoE damage. So, you know, Medusa, and you got Artica in there, and then maybe I'll throw in these two, which bring in the multiple, like it's got multiple heroes, right? And then we'll bring in Cupid for all them to proc right away. Something like this wipes out these guys pretty quick, especially if you have all of them with Revitalized Crests on. So Cupid procs, everybody procs, and you know, that's just how you get through it super quick like that. So yeah, what else? My dungeon teams, It would be nice if it was more like Lost Battlefield, but I think if when when you do the dungeon, it's the people who are on, it's the heroes who are on your hero bases right now. And I kind of wish it was more like, more like, what am I trying to hit here? See, more like this, where you could edit the team, right? So this is my boss fighting team. So it'd be cool if they had something like this for the dungeon team, your edit dungeon team, instead of having to switch the team here, which is clearly, you want your base defense team here. So I guess I can stop and look at that for a bit. This is my base defense team. You can see the guys that I'm using and the pets that they're using. Right? But anyway, I digress, and I'll show you the guys that I use. So the guys that I run for dungeon, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I've been drinking a few beers, so bear with me here. Guys I run for dungeon, of course, is Minnow. He's at 9 of 10. I'm still working on him. I am currently working on both of these guys. I got Spirit Mage, Double Evolved 168, and Santa, Double Evolved 168. They're both at 8 of 10 right now. And those are the guys I'm currently sweeping for. So if I go in here, I go to T, I sweep that. I'm working on both of those guys at the same time. And we might as well sweep those, why not? We had some there. I don't think I'm quite ready for that AA yet. I have yet to work on that one. I get wiped out pretty quick. As you can see, I've tried it, and we didn't even get past AA1. Dungeon. So still sweeping 4. And that's why I'm working on those two guys. I want to get to that 5 of 10 dungeon. Dungeon 510. So we're still sweeping 410. And we're working on two guys that are going to get me to dungeon 510. Alright, so we got that. We might as well sweep that. Okay, I haven't touched on Guild Wars. I guess I'll touch on Guild Wars a bit. If you've seen my sniping video, you'll know the team that I use for Guild Wars. I don't think it's going to show it. Of course it's not going to show it. You have to put, that's another one where it has to be the hero basis. Never mind. I would suggest you go check out that video. And if you want to take a look at the sniper team that I use. And the last but not least is the Archdemon here. And currently we've had that eye catcher Archdemon. As you can see, my top score is not that great. And I've been doing, I don't know if you've seen my Archdemon video, but I've been doing what you would call the double defense, or what I would call, I've never heard it being called that, so I call it the double defense. And basically you use Tree and you use Golem, and if you look at their procs, Tree and Golem both reduce the damage taken by your heroes for a significant amount for a few seconds. So you here at 9 of 10, Golem will reduce the damage by 50% for 5 seconds, and Tree at 9 of 10 will reduce it for 50% for 5 seconds. So I don't know for sure if they stack. I'm hoping they stack. So if they both proc at the same time for 5 seconds, you guys have 100% damage reduction. So that's pretty awesome. So that's what I've been using. Of course, I use Druid as the second healer for that team. And then I've been playing around with Skull Knight, Dread Drake, and Revenant as the tank. Probably Dread Drake is the best because he does the stun to the eye catchers. I've had the best success with Dread Drake. I've tried Revenant because he has that, he's immune to scatter, so tried him a couple times. It's in my Revenant review. And that was kind of cool, but I still think Dread Drake's probably better. And then of course Pumpkin Duke and Valentina. My Valentina is a little low, but she gets the job done still. I mean, even at level 7 it's 84, so you get like 15 energy for every attack, so that's, you know, you hit once and then she procs and then you're pretty much already at 100, you're gonna proc, right? Like I said in the beginning, I think everyone should do this every once in a while. Just, you know, just open up your account, try to be objective about it, think about which game mode you'd like to do the most, because as you can see for me, I really don't care too much about Arena or Lost Battlefield, even though, I'm sorry, not Lost Battlefield, Lost Realms, even though I know I should concentrate on Lost Realms some. I think everybody should do that, and there's really good resources there in Lost Realms I need to take advantage of, so I'm definitely going to start to concentrate on that, right? So where was I? Yeah, I was saying everybody should sit back and take a look at their account and see where they're at and where they want their account to go, right? So what heroes should you work on? Well, that would be the heroes that would benefit your account the most, right? You gotta ask yourself, what hero do I use in the most game modes? Like for instance, I think Skull Knight is probably the number one most valuable guy at this point. I mean, he's just the beast of all beast tanks. And yes, I do have him at 200. He's not maxed out, but you have to ask yourself, you know, how would those resources be best spent, right? I mean, it's a 1.6 million. 1.6 million. So you're talking a lot of shards there. It's something like, gee, I don't even remember, 75,000 shards or something like that. You know, it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. So why should I max him out? That's not what I wanted to bring up. The book. So we'll check out Skull Knight real quick here. You know, you guys really should do this. Take the time, you know, check it out. Is it really worth it? You know, what do you get out of it? So we'll take him to, so right now I'm at level 9. So when he procs, you can only do 4,000 damage to him. And when he's double evolved, he has over 200,000 damage, right? So what is the benefit of going to level 10, right? Is it really worth that 50% increase? You see that 750 to 800? You know, even at 750, I mean, he's 1 and 2 shotting guys. You know, he can one shot another Skull Knight if it's you know, coupled with maybe you got a Pumpkin Duke proc or a Cupid proc in there, and you're already giving him another 50%. Right, and then of course it depends what skill you have on him, or what crest you have on him. What if you have a War God crest on him? You know, level 5 War God crest. Right, that's another 30% increase. So, do you really need to spend 1.6 million for that 50%? It's only 1,000 more hit points that he doesn't take damage of at level 10. So that's why I never went to level 10. I don't think at this point I can justify spending 1.6 million skill on that. I think it's much better spent somewhere else. So that's something you have to ask yourself, you know. yes, I use this hero in many different game modes, and yes, I want him to be as strong as he can be. But how is he doing in those game modes now? So, you know, my Skull Knight team is doing just fine in Lost Battlefields. That's where I use him. I'm getting 1,000 per week, like I said. I use him in Guild Wars, where I'm hitting 2,500 points each Guild Wars, so that's totally fine for me. And then of course you have Fortress Feud, so pretty much if you're doing well in Lost Battlefields, you're pretty much going to do well in Fortress Feud. It's almost the same type of game mode. Right, so do you want to spend that 1.6 million for that little bump, or can you spend that 1.6 million somewhere else for something? Right. Another example of that would be my Pumpkin Duke right here. So as you can see, my Pumpkin Duke is not maxed out. He's at 8 of 10. But he does have an 8 of 8 Berserk. Right? So the biggest, or the strongest thing I think about Pumpkin Duke is the fact that he takes all your allies to that top speed. Right, the Celebrate will increase everybody's speed, and the top speed for the Android server is 200 milliseconds. If you didn't already know that by now. And I believe for everyone that has 1,000, like himself, everyone who has 1,000 attack rate, it's gonna take 3 stacks to reach the top speed at level 8. Or is it 4 stacks? Something like that, 3 or 4 stacks. So I checked it out at level 9. Level 9 does nothing. And it's just because of how the calculation works. It rounds up. And at level 10, that's when you get the 1 more stack. It drops to 2 and 3, I think. So I would have to spend not only 800,000, but also the 1.6 million. So you're looking at a lot, even more so than Skull Knight, right? To see just a tiny bump, you know, just another stack increase. Yes, I know the attack damage is also going to increase, but when you're stacking that fast, do you really need it? How much of a difference is it going to make? You know, and that's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. Where do you want to spend those skill points, right? If you're curious, there is a really cool site that I just found. All you got to do is, right here, go to Google, type in Castle Clash Speed Calculator. And right on the top, you get this attack rate speed thing. So there's Pumpkin Duke's attack speed at 1,000. And then we'll go to my 8 of 8, where we're at. We have a Celebrate level of level 8. Alright. And yes, I often do run the Blitz Scroll, and my Blitz Scroll is maxed out. So we hit calculate there, and this is what Skull Knight is doing. So you can see there, I was correct, it was the 3rd stack where he reaches maximum. Right? The 3rd stack. So what happens if I take my Celebrate to level 9? Well, you can see right there, nothing. The 3rd stack still. I would have to take my Celebrate all the way to level 10 to actually see an increase in speed. I'm sorry, did I press the recalculate button? There you go. Until it drops to level 2. Right, so level 9 does nothing. Level 10 actually does the increase. So that's a lot of skill points for that small bump. There you go. Level 9 is still at 3. Right? So you can calculate this for other guys. So let's say, who's another guy that I have? I think like a lot. A lot of the guys have like attack speed of 1,000, but maybe they don't have the berserk level. Okay, so they don't have berserk. Okay, so let's look at what. So we can pretty much say that this is gonna affect. This will be the effect of Pumpkin Duke on somebody, right? Another hero per se. Let's say Druid. I think Druid has 1,000. So an 8 would hit Druid. So Druid would hit maximum at 5 stacks. How about 9? What does 9 do? So 9 would drop it to 4. So that actually helps other heroes. You know, I think I'm getting carried away with this. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. But yeah, so for other heroes, the stacking, I suppose, so even at level 10, it's still at 4. Right? So there you go, there's a good example of is it worth doing? Right? As you see the Skull Knight, is it worth the 50% more? He's still one-shotting people. Are you really going to spend over 2 million skill points to get your Pumpkin Duke 1 stack higher? Right? Of course, eventually I want that, you know? Even for Cupid. Level 9 is great, of course. Level 10 would be better. I think level 10 is, what, another 5%? Is it worth 5% at this point? Can you spend it somewhere else where it would make a better difference? There's one thing I've definitely learned in this game is it's definitely better, I think, to increase one hero than to try and increase many heroes at the same time. And the reason for that is each hero increases a significant amount with each level, especially when you get to the upper levels, you know, level 7, level 8, 9, and 10. Well, we could just arbitrarily pick a hero here, and you can see the damage increase here. Maybe that's not a good hero to pick. Let's use someone like Warlock. It's a little easier to see. So you can see here's a level 7. He's at doing 340 damage to 3 guys. So there you go. One level is 40% more. Whereas if you were to have increased Cupid, you would only get that 5%. Right? Of course it's 5% for everyone, but for your particular Warlock there, it would only be 5%, but if you went and increased his, it's 40%. Right? So level 10 is actually, oh, it's 10%. I thought it was 5. So, yeah, that's pretty good. So definitely got something I got to work on. I thought it was only 5. But anyhow, I digress. 10%, 40% for one person is definitely better than 10% for all people. At least that's how I feel. You don't have to have the same feelings. That's just like what I've experienced. And something else that something else I wanted to go over was in lines with that was when you spend your skill points, you know, you don't want to spread them out through a whole bunch of characters, right? So you don't want a whole bunch of guys at level 7 and have them halfway to level 8. You know, if you look at most of my guys, they barely got anything into the next level. You know, here's 8 of 10, he's only got 400, I think just because I went over a little bit. course, he's already at 10 of 10. What's another good one here? So, see, he's only over level 8 by 600, 200. So, none of my guys are sitting like halfway between 7 and 8 or halfway between 8 and 9. And the reason for that is it doesn't matter, right? I mean, it's pretty basic. Just think about it. If you've got a guy at 8 of 10 and he's got 200, or he's got 700,000 of 800,000, does it make a difference? Absolutely not, right? So that's why you don't bother unless you really are going to go to that next level. You know, so it's definitely better to spend your skill points on one guy and get that one guy to the next level than to spread them out to many guys and have them slowly get to the next level. I definitely think it'll benefit your team more if you have that one guy that's going to be increased to the next level, rather than to wait and have all your guys at the same level for a longer period of time. So we've covered that. So we go back to the question now, right? And the question is, what guys or what heroes do you use in multiple game modes that you want to work on, or that you should work on? Right, so I'm just going to go over mine real quick. Well, I definitely need to work on Lost Realms. The heroes, it doesn't make a difference. I can just blow right through most of Lost Realms. What I really would like to work on is the Archdemon. I think I'm really low on the Archdemon, and of course dungeons. I showed you I'd like to get to 5 of 10 and sweep 5 of 10 for dungeons. That is definitely what I would like to work on. So yeah, so go through your account and ask yourself these questions, right? Yes, I would like to do great in arena. Okay, well, what guys do you like to use for arena? Right? These are the guys that I like to use for arena, and I think they do pretty well. Maybe you have something better. Maybe you can find something better. For me, arena is not that big of a deal. Basically, it's just honor badges. And for me, how do I get honor badges? Well, I just take a hero up to 200, get the books, sell them. That's like 3 million honor badges. Honor badges is not a problem, right? Definitely, and another thing too about honor badges, hit this expedition. Make sure you're doing this every day. I think right now at 155, my last expedition is worth like 7,000. I don't want to calculate that out right now, but that's a significant amount of honor badges right there. So just make sure you're hitting that every day, right? And you'll have no issue with honor badges. What other game modes? Guild Wars. I think I'm doing fine with Guild Wars. As long as I can hit the 2,500 each time, I'm totally happy. At 155, hitting 2,500 is a little easier now, because the more might you have, the more points you get from your opponents if you beat them. So although I do want my Guild Wars guys to be maxed out, I mean, who doesn't, right? I can hold off on that for a little while because I'm able to hit 2,500 each time. When it gets to a point where it's harder for me to hit that 2,500 mark, then maybe I'll look into increasing them. Right now, I want to decide which one do I want to put on the back burner, right? So definitely for sure right now I'm tired of being so low on this Archdemon. This Archdemon, you know, pardon my French, but he's pissing me off. And I know I got the correct heroes because, you know, I can do I can do this amount of damage with the current heroes that I have. And I've seen other videos from other YouTubers who have done a lot more damage than I have done with this exact same hero. So it's got to be the fact that those heroes are stronger than mine. So I've got to work on them, and it's obvious. You know, my druid is only single evolved, level 8. If he was double evolved, level 10, of course, guarantee I think my guys would last longer, right? Doing the Archdemon. If my Golem was 10 of 10, definitely think we would last longer against the Archdemon. If Dread Drake was 10 of 10, maybe 8 of 8 War God, that would be insane. You'd do a lot more damage. So, you know, these are the things that you got to look at. You got to ask yourself, you know, so what do you want next? What do you want to work on next? Because you definitely should, like I said, just work on one at a time. It may seem like it'd be better to work on a whole bunch of heroes because you want to use a whole bunch of different heroes in different game modes, but from experience, I think I've definitely seen a better increase in my team when I take one hero up to that next level instead of trying to take everyone up at the same time. So there's that, and like I said, there's dungeons. So that's another thing that I wanna work on. Right, I want that 5 of 10. So I'm working on my dungeon heroes. So that's what I've got. I think I'm gonna continue doing that. I've got Santa and Spirit Mage, which I both use for dungeons, and they both just got double evolved, and I'm both slowly getting them up to that 10 star by sweeping the current dungeon that I'm at. And I'm gonna actually wait to try that dungeon again until they are level 180, 10 star. I'm not gonna worry so much on their skill. I think I'm gonna work on the skill levels of the guys that I am going to use for the Archdemon, and I've already been doing that, and I think we can do that right now actually. So Tree is one of those guys. So here's a good example for you guys. Tree is one of those guys that is used in many game modes, right? That you can work on that'll be very beneficial, right? So I use him in the Archdemon. I use him in I have used him in Fortress Feud. I use him in Guild Wars. In fact, he is one of the staple heroes for Guild Wars. I don't get the scores I get without Tree, right? I also use him in Wretched Gorge. He's also used in Lava 3 if you run that specific Tree spot, right? So here's a guy that's used in multiple game modes that you definitely should have a strong Tree. And so I took the time, and as you can see, I'm almost there, and this is a very happy moment for me. I do have it saved up right here. You can see I've got 9 of these Mastery Essences, and we're gonna cap off Tree's skill level to 10 right now. Been working on this for maybe the past month or so. So yeah, it takes time, but it's definitely worth it. Here we go. Let's just get it done. 8, 9, bam. 1.6 on the dot. We don't want to waste any skill points. And there we have our tree maxed out with Battleheim 10 of 10. So now that 50% less damage did not increase, but in Guild Wars, everyone's going to come back with 70% health. That's going to be awesome. So now, whose skill do I work on next? Well, we just went over everything. I did the evaluation of my account and what I want to see my account doing and what I want to get done. So I'm going to work on the level, the hero level of the heroes for a dungeon. And the heroes for Archdemon, I'm going to work on their skill. And the guy I would like to get up next is going to be one of these guys. It's either going to be Golem or it's going to be Druid, one of the healers. And as you can see, Druid is level 8. Golem is already level 9. I think the best thing for me to do is get Druid up to level 9 and have that increased healing and damage when he procs. So yeah, that'll be my way to go. A few side things I'd like to get done, of course. I'd like to get this. I use Cupid a hell of a lot, even more so than Pumpkin Duke. So I'd like to get Cupid to 10 of 10 eventually. Dread Drake, of course. He's got the right stuff, it's just not strong enough yet. He's going to be a beast when I get him up there. And my Grim Fiend. I rolled a 5 of 8 deadly strike for that Grim Fiend. I think it's going to be insane. And you should see it do some work in Arena. He hits for a couple 100,000 damage when that thing goes off. That Arena totem drops pretty quick. That's definitely another one I'd like to work on. So that's where I'm at, that's what I'm going to work on. And yeah, it's a slow process, but when your guy hits that next level, man, it's worth it. It's worth it. So Tree at 10 of 10 is going to be nice when we hit that next Guild Wars. So now I can spend my skill points on this guy. And hopefully when we hit that Archdemon again, we can last a little longer and do a little more damage. Alright? So that's about it, guys. That's about all I can think about for this vlog. So take the time out. You know, take a step back. Look at your account objectively. Ask yourself what you want to get done. What heroes do you need to get that done? You know, what game mode you want to work on. Try and ask yourself, what hero do I use in multiple game modes? You know, make each step, try to make each step calculated and make it worth it. You know, shards is probably still the #1 hardest thing to come by. And that's the only thing that's going to increase your skill level. You know, you could have a level 200 Skull Knight, but if he's got a level 5 skill, he's going to get wiped out. You know, you guys really only start doing damage at level 8. I think level 8, okay, maybe level 7 is a starting off point. Maybe you can compete with level 7. Definitely, I think it's probably level 8 where you actually start to compete. But if you want to be defeating those top guys, you know, you want to be doing your best in these other game modes, you're gonna need levels 9 and 10. You just are. That's when the real damage really starts coming into play there. The real differences, I should say, because it's not just damage, right? The real differences. So yeah, definitely go take a look at that, guys. Ask yourselves what you need to get it done and get it done. That's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you watch the next one. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. This is Kaz, signing out.